Yalla. That is Arabic for come on, let's go. Or when the film director says action. Yalla. I'm David Maxwell Glass, internet handle Congozilla, riding my electrically assisted 3-speed bicycle, chopper, through the war-torn streets of Tel Aviv. Today's Tuesday, April 30th, and we're headed towards the center of Yafo. And we're gonna ride on Yafo Street. And I want to tell you about the name of this place because it's got a lot. Where we are is in the city of Tel Aviv-Yafo, also known as the financial hub of the Middle East, or Israel. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Where we are is the southernmost part of the city of Tel Aviv. The name of the city is Tel Aviv-Yafo. Yafo is the Hebrew pronunciation of the way that the name is written, and it's popular in many languages, particularly Hebrew and Arabic, so it's can be also Jaffa, Yafo, and anyway, and however else it translates. So this is pretty much the very center of Yafo, on Yafo Street. And this is one of the oldest cities in the world. The old city fishing market is about 2 kilometers ahead of us. And that place is 11,000 years old. The first building that I want to tell you about is this one, and I could make a whole video about this building, but I'm out today because I want to tell you about a car chase scene from the movie. This is Haji Kel Square, by the way, in the center of Yafo. And there's this movie that was made in 1986 called Delta Force. And in my first video, the test video that I made to figure out all this equipment and how to do this, was in there I mentioned that this area was used in a Chuck Norris movie at one time. So the name of that movie is The Delta Force from 1986. It was directed by Menachem Golan, starring Lee Marvin and Chuck Norris, and it was also with a lot of co-stars that used to appear in lots and lots of movies. Martin Balsam, George Kennedy, Lainie Kazan. Anyhow, it says, this sign up here says closed military area. That's because this building is now used as a military court for the IDF, Israel Defense Forces. And I pick up the bike to give you a better view. It was once I think a three generation home. You know, 3 generations of one family living under one roof. There's a lot of them here in this part of the city. So, but it's like a twin city, Tel Aviv, Yafo, and it's got the both names. Because Tel Aviv and Yafo are very different places. And I love where I live. I think this is one of the coolest places in the world. So now we're just going to a different section of Yafo. Just up the hill here. And once we get over the top of the hill, we're in a new section of, well, it's a neighborhood. It's just a neighborhood of Yafo. One of the things that Yafo's famous for is the oranges, you know? Queen Victoria. Right. I'm trying to tell you that Queen Victoria in the late 1800s was the first British monarch to have enjoyed orange juice every day, and that's because she was getting oranges from Israel, and particularly Jaffa. So Yafo used to be, well, I mean, the whole south part of the greater Tel Aviv area used to be called Yafo. Now things have changed, and the part of the city it's actually, I don't know if you could see it on the horizon. There's a building way down there that's in the next town over, or the next part of Tel Aviv over, called Bat Yam, and the very southernmost part of the greater Tel Aviv area called Rishon LeZion is just past Bat Yam. That's where the orange orchards were. And this place, Ajami, is where like the big heavyweight landowners that owned like collectives of farms in that area, the orange groves, and they're into all kinds of things, the olives and the pomegranates and everything grows here. So apricots and so the big heavyweight landowners, like some of the richest people in the country, lived in this area, Ajami, and had owned the lands and rented the lands and the fields, in agricultural fields in the south where the oranges came from. I stopped here at this corner because it's just interesting. It's like my house is 3 blocks that way. This is the French embassy to Israel in Tel Aviv, right in front of us, this walled place. So I gotta actually pick up the bike a little bit to give you a view of this. There, can you see that? There's a French flag and an EU flag and French embassy. Oh, filled with, I don't know, French secret agents and intelligence guys and diplomats and cheese and escargot and everything. Because on that property, you are in France. You're not in Israel anymore. But out here, we're in Yafo. I'm turning right onto Valencia Street. And that's because of getting back to this this movie I'm talking about, Delta Force. About 5 years ago, my sister-in-law, Rowan, sent me an email on WhatsApp. It's such a noisy place. Alright, it's going to be quiet in a second. 5 years ago on WhatsApp, I don't know where she found it. She found a short film called The Greatest Car Chase Ever. And it's The Greatest Car Chase Ever dash Delta Force Streets. That's the name of the video on YouTube. It's 3 minutes and 10 seconds long, and most of it was filmed on this street and the next street over 1 block that way, which is called Kedem Street. This is Valencia Street. Valencia is the name of a city in Spain, so it's named after that. I don't know who Kedem was or what Kedem was, but Kedem Street is the waterfront street that just runs along the front of the Mediterranean. And they're one-way streets now. So I analyzed this clip that Rowan sent because I live in this really cool place, and then I find out it's used in a movie and a really great Chuck Norris car chase. So most of the car chase was filmed on these 2 streets right here in Ajami. As I analyzed the clip, I saw that they really used all of Ajami to make that car chase scene. But I'm stopping here because this place in Ajami has 2 things. This is the only place where there's an S-curve. It's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know where all this traffic is coming from today. Usually these streets are empty. So I'm riding the wrong way down a one-way street right now. And I'm just doing that to show you that the S-curve we're going through shows up in the movie in 3 places. And that's at the 23-second mark, the 34-second mark, and the 42-second mark. The green building I was just showing you, the courthouse for the military courthouse for the IDF, appears at the 4-second mark in the greatest car chase ever video clip. And really a lot of cars today. And the staircase scene was filmed, I'm sure, on this staircase coming from the top of the street, and you could see the White House at the end. And all of this has been so gentrified, it's just completely unrecognizable from what was in the video today, 36 years later. So I'm going to continue down the street. We're coming to more places. Again, I'm convinced nearly all of this street appears in the video, except the traffic is going in the other direction. And it's 36 years later, and everything's been gentrified. You can hardly recognize a thing. Now, I'm saying gentrified, and clearly you can see that with these buildings. But a lot of this neighborhood looks old and dusty. And that's because it really is really old. And when you make your building or your house look really nice on the outside, in this country, in this city, your property taxes go up. So people don't really pay much attention to the outside of their properties and buildings. And a lot of them can look really bad. But, I mean, this place, for example, is really nice. Behind these walls, they got a courtyard, a garden with fruit trees, a huge mural painted on the front of it. I should give you a look at that. Here it is. Hope you can see that. The lighting's not so good today. And now we're coming to another place that was used in the movie. You can clearly see it when you compare the movie and today. At the 1 minute and 23-second mark of the car chase scene, they turn right from this street on down this hill. And like I was saying before, when I analyzed the film clip, I had to rely on the geography because everything's so different. But the layout of the streets don't change, and the shape of the hills and the land doesn't change. And it's just a nice alleyway running up towards the old city. I'm trying to turn left, and this guy is... So now we're going to go down... Actually, there's one more stop. Because also in the movie, you can see... I'm pretty sure it's this square, and these two buildings appear at about the 2-second mark. And again, like, they look nothing today like they did in the movie. But if I come up here, I can show you. There's an open area here, and to me, it looks very much the same as the two buildings they're showing right before they threw the priest off the balcony at the, I think that was like the 4-second mark. So this is around the 2-second mark. And now I'm going to show you something else. We're going to turn on to Kedem Street. It's really such a nice day to be riding around. And coming down here, this looks very familiar as I watch the car chase scene. It's been dusty the last couple of days, but not so much today. It's really nice. It's started off cloudy this morning, but it's clear now. Like I said, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And no, it's not here. It's coming up. There's two more places that were used in the car chase that I found on this street. I just want to let this car pass. It's really annoying. Anyhow, I don't like the noise because I'm making a film. And they drive very close to you when you're riding slowly. This is the bakery that we stopped at in my first video, that test video. They're just open today for the first day since they closed up for Passover. They've been closed for a week. And I'm coming down here. And the next place appears in the it's at 2 minutes and 6 seconds. You can see in the film clip, the car chase clip, 3 guys and 1 woman come running out like into the street and then turn around and go back. And the 3 guys are totally dressed up for the movie. They're wearing like really traditional garb and clothing and headscarves, and as you can see, nobody dresses like that here. I think though, if when you see the woman in the film clip, the car chase scene, she looks just about like anybody you'd see walking around in Yafo today. Yeah, and this hill, I'm stopping again right here because it's at the at the 1 minute and 18 second mark, and also at the 1 minute and 24 second mark. They shot that part of the car chase right here. The hill and the shape of the street and everything. I looked at it a lot and studied it. It's exactly the same, except everything's changed on the left. All these buildings are new and have been built within the last 36 years. So they tore down a lot and they built a lot new. And what else can I? No. Yeah. I think we'll ride into this parking lot just to have a look at the sea, because this is a good place for that. And we're going to go to another place to look at the sea, but it's a little higher in elevation in just a minute. We love this park. In here walking all the time and everything. It's in the winter, it's great. You can't really go to the beach. So I think the last thing that I was able to recognize in the car chase scene happened, I think it was right about here. Where the Jeep explodes at the end. And it had to be someplace just here off the street on the left. You can see it's all dirt and everything, and I think that's the only place they could have done that scene, or that particular part of the car chase scene. So here's the next place on the beach where you get the sea view I just told you about, and now we're just up the hill, so it's a bit higher in elevation. And I'll just show you at 2 minutes and 39 seconds, you can see that mosque right over there. So that's still here. And that was here. And the mosque across the street from my house is more than 1,000 years old. So I don't think these buildings are going anywhere anytime soon. I'll stop here and close up the video. And please forgive the tilt of the camera, because the camera's mounted on the kickstand of my bike. And I'm wearing we're calling this one the March of Progress t-shirt today, and I want to remind you to visit my Etsy shop, and I'll put a link to the Chuck Norris film clip that we've been talking about, the greatest car chase ever. In the description of the video. By the way, it's not the greatest car chase ever. There's a movie called The French Connection from 1977, I think it is, or either 1971 or 1977. And in The French Connection, there's the greatest car chase ever, because most of that was filmed during the day on just a regular business day in Brooklyn without permits in live traffic. And you watch that clip, that car chase from The French Connection, and it's just absolutely sick. Like, I can't believe they did that without permits, and it came off the way they did it. Plus, it's just a really great movie. Yeah, so that's closing up this video. Don't forget, visit my Etsy shop, hit likes and subscribe, and if you're going to be out in traffic on your bicycle, wear white. It's one of the safest things you can do to be safe.